The month of April has certainly been a memorable one already. We're not even halfway through. WrestleMania was epic, one of the best WrestleMania endings of all time. AEW Dynamite embarrassed themselves on Wednesday by leaking the CM Punk Jack Perry All-In footage and the news. There's plenty of news right here on OTS. Hook, speaking of AEW, he may be out of AEW and he may be seeking employment with the WWE. I got the story on that. Where is the WrestleMania 40 documentary that WWE promised this Wednesday? I got the news on that. And why didn't Stone Cold Steve Austin show up in the main event of WrestleMania 40 Night 2 to stare down The Rock after Cody Rhodes won the WWE Championship in a classic? I got all that news right here on OTS, and we will start off light. We'll start with Drew Gulak. Yes, Drew Gulak is in the news. Is he released from the WWE? It certainly looks like WWE may be phasing Drew Gulak out of the company. Right now, Drew Gulak is currently under scrutiny due to allegations of sexual misconduct levied at him by Ronda Rousey, and there is an update on Gulak's status. This was coming from Fightful Select, as noted by many during this week's NXT. The no-quarter catch crew Titantron was changed to omit Gulak's name. Fightful Select is told that this is relatively easy to change and that the choice to use Charlie Dempsey's music was also an intentional one. Now, Fightful has also learned that over WrestleMania weekend, Gulak was pulled from several appearances. Most notably, Gulak was removed from his seat at the Hall of Fame after a producer noticed he was in attendance and in close proximity to someone close to Rousey's inner circle of friends. Gulak was also not listed for the show on the internal rundowns, nor was he seen backstage at the NXT taping on Tuesday. It was also noted that there was not to be any mention of Gulak on NXT this week, and Sean Ross Sapp also had been told that there are no creative plans for Gulak at this time. Well, they did say, TKO Endeavor, that no matter what, that they would weed out all of that after the Vince McMahon allegations and that they're going to be coming for everybody's head. Now, I don't know if Gulak played a prominent part on NXT television. I don't think he's in anything too major. He's easily replaceable. He's probably been acting as a producer/coach at the Performance Center. I don't know if it's going to be that big of a deal if Gulak gets ousted here from WWE. All I know is this comes at a terrible time for Drew Gulak. Obviously, Ronda Rousey held nothing back in her book called My Fight. And unfortunately, this and Drew Gulak's situation was given some awareness. And in the light of Vince McMahon, I don't think Gulak is going to be there that much longer, if already he's gone from the company. Now, again, I don't know the situation. Apparently, it had something to do with the drawstrings on Ronda Rousey's pants. He made an attempt to touch them, and she cried sexual harassment. She went to management about it. I don't really know how that's done on purpose unless he tripped and fell and used them to maybe grab a hold of to keep balance. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he was in the line of thinking of playing a joke on her, or he was just playing around. I mean, I don't think that's the type of woman to play around with. I don't think any woman in that situation should be played around like that. But apparently Drew Gulak is in some serious hot water, and he may be gone from the company, if anybody cares. So that's the latest on Drew Gulak, possibly released from WWE. But as of right now, not officially. He is off NXT television. He is not with Charlie Dempsey and the No Quarter Catch crew on Tuesday nights. News on the WrestleMania XL Behind the Curtain that was supposed to be on YouTube on Wednesday. I was very much looking forward to this Behind the Curtain documentary, which highlighted the pivot of Rock and Roman back to Roman and Cody for this year's WrestleMania 40 and the involvement of The Rock and everything that went into building this WrestleMania show that was supposedly by Triple H 80% completed by November. And then CM Punk gets injured, Brock Lesnar's ousted, and things just changed completely. So I was very much looking forward to that. So when we didn't get it on Wednesday, a lot of people started asking questions. Now, the documentary chronicling the change to WrestleMania XL, WrestleMania 40, was advertised for Wednesday on YouTube. Fightful spoke with WWE sources who said that the move has been made to add footage from this past weekend to the show. They were not given any update on the release time or date. So they're looking to make it a little bit better and tell a better story for the overall pivot of WrestleMania 40. That's great. I don't mind that at all. Things like that are very well worth the wait. It's WWE's bread and butter. I actually thought WWE, believe it or not, and I know I'm not the only one that feels this way, I thought WWE intentionally didn't air it in the afternoon and were going to be petty about it and then air it on YouTube at 8 p.m. during AEW Dynamite. I know I'm not the only one that thought that, but I'm glad that they didn't resort to those tactics. I mean, they've been also under scrutiny as well this past weekend for taking a lot of cheap shots at AEW. But the Behind the Curtain documentary will be out soon. They just filmed some more content for it at WrestleMania and wanted to include it in the documentary. I can't imagine that's going to take so long. We'll probably give it another month or so, and we'll probably get that on YouTube. Gonna be well worth the watch. Speaking of WrestleMania, everybody expected Stone Cold Steve Austin at the end of WrestleMania 40 when the bloodline started to slowly creep into the main event between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. Solo Sikoa was taken out by John Cena. Jimmy Uso was taken out by Jey Uso. And then obviously the final boss makes his way down to the ring. And there was a moment in that match. Seth Rollins got taken out. But after that, there was a moment in that match where you just had a feeling you were going to hear that glass shatter. And Philadelphia might have had its own second earthquake that weekend. Instead, it was The Undertaker, Mark Calloway, who showed up and met The Rock face to face to deliver a chokeslam and then disappear into the Philly night. It was supposed to be Stone Cold Steve Austin. That was the rumor. Now it's confirmed. WWE did have plans to use Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, and John Cena at WrestleMania this past weekend. They were only able to get John Cena and The Undertaker. Why not Austin? Austin has not been seen at WrestleMania since WrestleMania 38, when he came out of retirement for his first match since 2003 to beat Kevin Owens in the main event of night one, which was very well done. WWE tried to get him for WrestleMania 39 for another match, but due to him filming his reality series at the time for A&E, he couldn't make time for it. WWE did have Cena and Undertaker appear in the main event of night two during Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Universal Championship. This is when the Bloodline, Seth Rollins, Cena, and Taker got involved as Cena laid out Solo while Taker chokeslammed The Rock. In the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer reported that Austin was originally earmarked for the spot at the end of the match where Taker laid out The Rock. However, Austin wasn't there because they couldn't reach a financial agreement and The Undertaker was put in his place. So it came down to money with Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't believe that for a fucking second. I don't. WWE, if they clearly went above and beyond to make this WrestleMania main event as epic as it could possibly be. They wanted Austin. They were willing to pay Austin to be there. I don't believe that it was just a financial agreement. Oh, they didn't come to terms on money. Are you kidding me? To get Stone Cold Steve Austin for a once-in-a-lifetime will never be forgotten moment. It will live on forever moment. You mean to tell me they wouldn't shell out the money to get Stone Cold Steve Austin? The thing is, Austin wasn't there not because of just a financial agreement or disagreement. Stone Cold Steve Austin is someone, in my personal opinion, this is from me personally, someone who wants more than just a one-off, pay me, and then goodbye. I feel like Stone Cold probably asked Triple H and the powers that be, I'd come in and do it for you, but what is it going to mean? Where is it going to go? And is there going to be anything that I do that leads into something else? He just didn't want to come in to do a one-off and then once again disappear in the night. That's my take on why Austin wasn't at WrestleMania 40, even though it was the picture-perfect setup for him to meet face-to-face with The Rock. I mean, it would have been absolutely tremendous. I don't even think there'd be a Lincoln Financial Field still standing if he showed up on Sunday night. I think that's the reason why. There's no way WWE would not pay him what he wants. Austin is very particular with what he does. Now, for those asking, well, he did the match with Kevin Owens, and he beat Kevin Owens at WrestleMania 38 and then did nothing else. You got to understand, that was also a once-in-a-lifetime deal as well. He wants to finally retire. They coaxed him out of retirement, but that was too perfect to give up because it was in Dallas. It was WrestleMania Dallas, and he wanted to come back in his home state. I mean, the stars were aligned there. This was also one of those moments that were stars aligned as well, but I think he wanted more than what they were offering him as far as creative, and he didn't want to take it if it was just going to be come in, stun The Rock, and then disappear. That's just my honest opinion. If you guys have any other possibilities as to why Stone Cold wasn't there, I'd love to hear them, and I'd love for you to sound off in the comment section below. But that's my opinion on that. It's just not a financial disagreement. Meltzer says it's just financial disagreement. Stone Cold wanted more, and there was nothing else to give after Cody won the championship. Hook, the son of Taz, Hook, is reportedly interested in exploring free agency when his AEW contract expires later this year. As first reported by SEScoops.com, the second-generation star is said to be interested in testing the free agency waters. SC Scoops quoted someone familiar with WWE's recruitment strategy as saying, I can see WWE clearly being interested in him. Hook, the son of WWE ECW legend Taz, has been with AEW since 2020. He began his run with an undefeated streak. Currently, he's working a program that is doing him no favors with Chris Jericho. They've been teaming for the last few weeks, but on this week's show, Hook decided that he had enough of Chris Jericho. The program appears to be setting up a future singles match on the pay-per-view. AEW has attracted a big list of names this year, and WWE is also looking to sign away some of their talent when they become available. Last weekend at NXT Stand and Deliver's media scrum, Shawn Michaels stated that he would love to bring in names from other promotions. He did not name anyone specifically, but said that he sees people in other companies with a lot of talent who he feels he would love to see them thrive, teach them, and he feels like they would thrive in the WWE system. I'm going to be upfront and honest with you. If Hook stays in AEW, there will be no growth whatsoever. Sure, he was in the ring and had a spectacular match with Samoa Joe for the AEW World Championship. Sure, he's under the quote-unquote learning tree of Chris Jericho, and there are other legends that are there that are going to teach him the ways and give him the guidance that he needs. Now, the way that I see it head on, there are things that he can learn from Chris Jericho. There are certain things that he can learn from Chris Jericho or other legends that he can't learn from his dad. But I honestly do think at the end of the day, I don't really see what Hook can't learn from his father that he needs to be in AEW learning under all these other legends. In fact, if I was to make a bold prediction, I would probably go out there and say Taz is probably pushing him to go to WWE and go to their developmental and sign with NXT because he's not going to get that level of training while being in AEW. Sure, he's got some TV exposure. He doesn't need the ropes to be learned as far as that. He's had some TV time. But the way WWE and AEW do television is completely different. The way that they teach and mold their talent is completely different than what happens in AEW. There are going to be things that he is not going to get to be where he needs to be by working in AEW and skipping WWE completely. I genuinely think that if you take Hook as is and you put him in NXT, you're going to get a completely different man, a completely different individual. He's got huge upside. He's got huge upside. They're going to teach him everything he needs to know. If he stays in AEW, I don't think he's going to get where he needs to be. And yes, he's still relatively young, but right now, what is he doing on television that is doing him any favors? Nothing. Nothing. And with the amount of main event talent and the focus and the direction of the company right now, it's not on guys like Hook. And it's not going to be on guys like Hook. At least if Hook goes to WWE and goes to the developmental, he will be working around people that are basically in his class, similar to him. He's going to be able to grow with people similar to him that are at the same level as him. He's got the experience working with the guys that I just mentioned and more. He's got television exposure. He's got pay-per-view exposure. He's worked in front of big audiences. He's worked in front of 81,000 people at All In. But that can only take you so far. I feel like Hook needs to be around people that are his age, at his level, his knowledge, and work and grow with people that are similar to him. And then when it's his time, you'll know because he will be in that class and he will be where he needs to be because he had learned everything and he's going to be with who he needs to be. That's just the way I see it. I don't know what you guys feel about that, but I do think Shawn Michaels is right, and I do think that he would thrive. Someone like him would thrive in the WWE system. Guys, thank you so very much for all your support. I hope you enjoyed today's news. If you did, please hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. And if you guys have anything to add, that is where you're going to sound off. Make sure you guys follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications, and make sure you guys go out and check out all of the great content this week and this past weekend. I said it on Twitter. I don't think there has been any week ever unlike this week or like this week. This has been the best week of content that I think I've ever produced with a 50% voice to boot. So make sure you guys go check all that content out. Plenty of it. You do not want to miss any of the shows that we've had so far this week. Guys, I will see you back with more news on Sunday. Until then, take care, and I'll be back with more right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.